Hey everyone, Dr. Bob. Welcome to the latest episode of Bobcast. I want to start as I always do by thanking those of you that are on tonight. Also, thank you to those of you who will watch the recorded version as it's posted later. And as always, I want to ask you and everyone on to share these Bobcasts out. You never know who needs to hear what we're talking about. Share them out from Facebook. You can share them out from YouTube, from my YouTube channel. I will put a link in the comment section below once it's uploaded to my YouTube channel. Hi, Bev. Hi, Rebecca. I will post the link, like I said, in the comment section below for my YouTube channel. I will also post a link for my website in the comment section below as well. It usually takes a few days for me to get it uploaded to my website. You simply go to bobnormanjr.com, click on the blog tab. It's actually a vlog, but it says blog, so click on that and you'll see all the past videos that I've done, including this one. Again, this one usually will be up in a few days. So again, I appreciate you sharing these out. There are a number of ways to share them out, and let's get the word out and get some people some help if they needed to hear what we're talking about today. So we're going to jump right into it. Now, this is an extremely big topic. So this one may take a couple of weeks, or I may ramble for a day or so on here. I don't know what's going to go on. I ad-lib these from my head, just knowledge. I do make a couple of notes here and there to keep me on track. But today's topic is titled Mindset and is titled Fear. And excuse me, this came from a listener who suggested this topic, but it also came from personal experience. And I realized the other day that we live in a world and a country full of people who are scared to death. They're living in fear every day. Whether it's rational fear or irrational fear, most of it is irrational. But we live in fear these days. Not we, they. I need you to understand that fear exists only in your mind. It's not a real thing. It's not tangible. And most of the time, it is, let's just say, irrational. You have to understand that your brain is wired in a way to always protect you. So if you see something or if you're told something and it scares you and you're afraid of it, your mind will start to look for ways to avoid it. It'll start to look for solutions to avoid that perceived danger. Okay? Fear is one of the worst human conditions, because when you live in fear the way a lot of people are today, you make terrible decisions. You should never make a decision based on fear. Now, I said at the beginning there are irrational and irrational fears, and so here's kind of what I'm talking about, right? So we all know that lions are a ferocious animal, right? So if we see a lion, if we're on a safari and we see a lion, we know better than to get out of the vehicle and go try to pet the lion. We know what the lion does. That's factual. That's a fear based on facts and what actually is going on or could possibly happen. It's a likely outcome that you'll get eaten by the lion. Those aren't the kind of fears I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fears that, again, exist only in our mind. And these days, to be honest with you, there are also people in this world who have a vested interest in you remaining fearful. Let's just be honest. Whether they gain or hold on to power or authority over you, whether they make money based on your fear, there are several reasons and several ways that people can be vested in you remaining fearful, right? You have to understand that, first of all, and you also then need to understand that that fear is being put into your head. Have you ever heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out, right? They say it about computers, they say it about everything, right? So if you put junk into your computer, if you make a calculations on your calculator on your computer and you put the wrong information in, you're going to get the wrong answer. Well, if you put garbage and negativity and fear into your mind, you're going to get garbage decisions and you're going to have a garbage life. Let's just be honest. You cannot live in fear. Fear also actually makes you physically sick after an extended period of time. There's something in the body called cortisol. And cortisol is that thing that makes you run or fight or flight, that thing. And when you live in a constant state of either stress or fear, your body is continuously producing cortisol. Drip, 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 all the time. See, cortisol is supposed to be there when you need to fight or flight. It's supposed to then shut off when you're peaceful, when you're at peace, when you're relaxed, when you're not scared anymore, when the danger has passed. But we live in a world of 24/7 news coverage. Most of it, in my humble opinion, is garbage, right? Fear and negativity sell. Sensationalism sells. So they put things out that make you scared, things that make you upset, things that make you continue to tune in, and it's having a negative effect on you. Look at the effect on our society of a lot of the things that have gone on, right? There are people on the news that tell you if your skin's brown, you should hate or fear me. Or if my skin's not brown, I should hate or fear you. If you're gay, you're supposed to hate and or fear straight people, and vice versa. They make all of these assumptions and all of these divisions of people and make them afraid and distract them while they do their thing. So you have to understand where the fear is coming from. These days, most of the fear, most of us don't have to run from a dinosaur to survive. We don't have to go out into the wilderness, unexplored wilderness, to try to stake out a life. We don't have to go hunting bear in the mountains where the weather could be bad. We don't have a lot of the dangers that are natural to man. We do have dangers, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is you should not, if in this country, you should not be living in a constant state of fear or panic. Because like I said, there are irrational and rational fears. Fears also kill dreams. Fear stops progress. Fear, again, can actually make you sick if you're living in a constant state of fear. Now, I said at the beginning, fear exists only in the mind. So if it exists only in the mind, guess what that means? That means you can change your mind. You can address those fears. Some of my friends joke with me about skydiving because if you remember last year, Amy and I started going skydiving. We've gone a couple of times and we plan on going a bunch more times this year. And some of the guys, joke with me about jumping out of a perfectly good plane and things like that because it's a real fear for people. But I was a little bit afraid at first. Amy was a little nervous the second time we went. She couldn't believe why she was nervous the second time when we'd already gone. And one of the things that I can tell you is that when you face that fear, on the other side of that fear, what I'm referring to jumping out of an airplane, was total bliss. It was the most peaceful, wonderful experience I think that I've ever experienced. It was completely silent. And I was flying. Now, if I'd let that fear that I had earlier, when I was on the ground, completely safe, nowhere near a plane, there was no possible way that I had nothing that was endangering me, but I was nervous. I wasted all that time. I wasted all that energy being afraid of something that ended up being one of the most awesome experiences ever. When we got done with our second jump, Amy looked at me and said, we only need 25 to get licensed. And she went over and got us a couple of logbooks. And I'm pretty sure we're going to go on our way about getting to be licensed skydivers, right? Now, that's just an example. How many things are you afraid of? I used to be afraid of relationships. Are you afraid of failure? There are so many people afraid of failure. There are just as many, if not more people, afraid of success. And that sounds a little bit crazy, but there are people who are afraid of success. There are people who are afraid of even trying because they don't want to be embarrassed in front of people if they fail. They won't get on the dance floor. They won't go sing karaoke. They won't do. Now that kind of ties back into my previous podcast about approval addiction and worrying about other people's opinions. Okay? So if you're afraid of someone else's opinion, so let's think about this logically. An opinion is a thought that someone has based on information that they have previously, right? So if they develop an opinion about you, it's on some experience that they had in the past. So it's a thought. Fear is a thought. So you're having thoughts of fear about someone else's thoughts. I don't know if anybody's ever put it to you that way, but it's as ridiculous as it sounds. Okay? What are you letting hold you back? What are you letting fear hold you back from? Are you letting fear hold you back from trying out for that new job? Are you letting fear hold you back from asking that girl or guy out on a date? Are you letting fear hold you back from going back to school, from starting a business, from going skydiving and trying skydiving? Are you letting it hold you back from that? If you are, why? Why are you letting fear dictate your life? I'm going to give you a tip on one thing that you need to do for sure. You need to turn that damn news off. I turn the news off. I don't watch the news. When too much of it pops up in my Facebook or social media feeds, I unfollow those sources, whatever it was, whether it was a news channel or a magazine or whatever, online magazine or whatever it was, I unfollow them. I don't have time for that negative garbage and trash to be filling up my mind, okay? So you need to turn the television off. I know at least a few extremely smart, wonderful people who are terrified right now because they watch the news all day and all evening. That's all they do is sit in front of the news. Terrified. They're absolutely terrified. And these are reasonable, intelligent people. So you need to, first of all, cut out all the negativity and the garbage that's being fed into your head on purpose. It's on purpose because people, there are people that have a vested interest in you remaining scared. All right. Denise said she cut out cable and she just subscribes to a couple of sources. I cut cable out, the satellite, 4 or 5 years ago. But it's what you have to do for your own inner peace, because there are people who benefit, again, and have a vested interest in continuing the turmoil within you. If I go somewhere and I don't have a mask on and you have one on, people feel like they're okay looking at me with disdain, and it's not okay. But they're told that, right? How many people look to the television to tell them what to think? Amy and I were looking at the newspaper a while back, and this is not, I'm not making a judgment on coronavirus or anything like that, but this is about how it's presented to you. The article read on the headline, 3 new deaths, 3 new cases of death in coronavirus. Now, I did the numbers. We both did the numbers that day looking at this article, and the survival rate of it was 99.9 or 99.98%. But the headline didn't read 9,972 people survived. It read 3 deaths. We got to focus on that negative. We got to focus on that fear. We've got to build that fear up. Drug companies, they make commercials that put fear into you and tell you that if you use their products, they will get rid of that fear for you, that danger. Politicians. People look to politicians to create programs, to make laws, to get rid of that danger. Remember the Bobcast a while back about consequences, right? Don't look to other people to save you, and don't look to other people to get rid of your fear or get rid of the perceived danger. That's your job. In my old job, and a lot of my friends on here that we work together, and in the military, and a lot of them were in the military as well, a lot of us faced some pretty scary things, okay? But once you face that fear, once I jumped out of that plane, once I faced that bully when I was a kid, once I faced those fears, I came out a better man. I came out a stronger, smarter, better man. I told my girlfriend Amy the other day, we were talking about that, and I forget the way the topic came up, but I said I faced I faced death. Nothing really scares me anymore. And once you get to that point, it's a wonderful point to be in your life. When you're not living in fear and you're making good, sound decisions based on logic and facts, based on things that you want to see, achieve, experience, or accomplish, not based on being afraid that if I go back to school, I'm going to fail. If I try this business, what if I don't do it right? If I ask that girl or guy out, they may turn me down. So I'm just going to, go home and sit in a chair and wish that I had and regret that I didn't? It doesn't work that way, folks, in life. You've got to take responsibility for you. You've got to take responsibility for your mindset, and you've got to stop letting these knuckleheads put that crap in your mind. Stop letting people put fear in your mind, especially those that are going to benefit from you being afraid. Absolutely. I'm sorry to hear that, Denise, but yes, she said that her husband passed away at a young age, and you need to live your life. And I couldn't have said it any better. There's a saying, I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, but it says, sometimes the thing that's holding you back is all in your head. I'm going to say most of the time, the thing that's holding you back is right in here. Fear exists only in your mind, and you are, or need to be, in control of your mind. Get rid of those fears. Face them if you have to. Face them down. Even if you get whooped. In my case of the bully back in the old days, even if you get whipped, you come out a better person, a stronger person. And in that kind of case, the bully doesn't bother you anymore. We have a lot of bullies in this world right now. And you got to stand up to them, whether it's your irrational fear of something, whether it's things that people are putting into your head, it doesn't matter. You've got to stand up and face them and understand, get sick and tired of being afraid. Stop living in fear and making crap decisions based on those fears. I knew I was going to ramble. We're going to make this into a couple of sessions, so we'll probably go into this a little bit more next week unless I get a better topic sent to me. We're going to stop there because I know I've been going on and on and on. I get a little red-faced because I get a little passionate about it. But stop living in fear. Stop making decisions based on fear. It's ridiculous and it's destructive to your life. Like Denise said, get out there and live life. Go for it. If you want to try something, try it. If you want to do something, do it. Go jump out of that plane like I did and experience absolute bliss. And when I got done, I realized how ridiculous it was that I was afraid earlier. Get out there and live life. Live it based on your wants, needs, goals, logic, and facts. Stop living in fear. Thank you so much for being on tonight. Thank you again to those who are going to be watching this recorded version later. Again, I'd like to ask everyone to please share these Bobcasts out. There are many ways that you can do that. In the comment, you can obviously share them on Facebook. They'll be here on my personal page, Bob Norman Jr., and in the group Best Life 101 if you're part of that. If you're not, reach out, ask to be. I will post a link to my YouTube channel in the comment section below. Once it's uploaded, you can share it out there through text message or email. In fact, when you go on there, please go on and click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it allows my videos to get seen by more people. And it will also be on my website, bobnormanjr.com. If you go up to the top, it says blog. If you click on that, it's actually a vlog, and it'll take you to the video section. And once this video is uploaded, now it's going to be a few days on that, but go over there. If you need help dealing with fear, if you need help learning how to live without being afraid of things or any other things in your life, click on the coaching tab on my website, again, bobnormanjr.com. Set up a free consultation, initial consultation, to see if we're fit to work together. If we are, I'd love to work with you to help you learn how to live life without being afraid of everything, to help you live your best life. That's why I call it Best Life 101. It's the basic fundamentals of living your best life. So share this out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link again will be below. So will the link to my website will be below. And thank you for being on. Have a great evening, a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next week on the next episode of Bobcast.